Welcome back to my channel. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake.
𝗔liche from 𝗕 Venture.
And today we would like to share two of our favorite cities in the world.
Wow, I know it.
One in Thailand and one in Albania.
Yes.
And we've been to both of them recently, so our data is pretty sharp. And we'd like to we know which one we like, and we know but we want to talk about them both in a way where you can figure out which one's right for you. Now, we think you should do an exploratory visit before you make up your mind, but we want to give you some points to think about which one you might like better.
Yeah, we just recently visited Thailand, Bangkok on October.
Oh, yeah.
And Tirana, Albania in August this year.
Each of these have a full report, so we're just going to talk about major issues here. And the full report, you'll find links below this YouTube video in the description. So I've been to 73 countries over the last 17 years.
I've traveled with Dan for 7 years together, and I've been to 48 countries.
Yeah, and this is what we do. We go out into the world and tell you about it and tell you what it costs to live, and we compare places so you have ideas that might save you time and money. We first want to talk about the fundamental differences between these two cities. Bangkok is a city of 11 million people. It's a very worldly place. It has infinite energy and exploding growth for several decades. And so it's a fascinating, crazy, fun place to be. Whereas Tirana, Albania, the capital of Albania, it's around 400,000 people. I would say it's more family oriented, but the economy it feels like it's a new renaissance, but it is European flavored in terms of what it feels like. So those are kind of the difference between the fundamental differences between these two cities. And depending on who you are and what it is you love, one of these might be better for you. First, we'll talk about apartments, because if you're going to consider retiring there or living there, you're going to have to go visit first.
The short-term rental in the Bangkok, Thailand is $24.9 per night. This is a short-term rent for a month over there. And I love the place that we stay because it's far away from the crazy tourist area, but it's quiet enough also to rest, and it's all in a neighborhood, local neighborhood. We can go out to the subway, to the bus, to walk the taxi. So like walking 10 minutes to the walking taxi, you can take it to everywhere to visit all the Thailand. And they have a food, local restaurants, they have a Western food. It's just easy to be living over there. And then in Tirana, Albania is $26 per night for the short-term month over there. And I love that as well because we choose a place is in the city center. We never take any public transportation because it's easy for us to just walk around to a grocery shopping, a farmer market, restaurant, nightlife, everything. So those is the places that we've been stay. And if you want to know where we stay, you can access to our report. Yes.
And so those are the nightly rates if you stay for around a month. But eventually if you decide to pick one of them and move there, then you need to know what the monthly rate is. And now this is starting rates, and it's more local kind of accommodations, but we enjoy them. They're nice. We found a one-bedroom apartment in Bangkok in the area we like, and it's $273 per month. And in Tirana, apartment we liked was $422 per month. And so you've got quite a bit of savings once you decide to go to a one-year lease. Now, SIM cards are both pretty cheap. Bangkok, you're going to pay about 12 bucks per month. And in Tirana, it's going to be about 18 bucks per SIM card per month. Throw that in your phone, and every month pay that, and you're off and running.
The next thing is the restaurant. That's my favorite thing. We eat in a local restaurant. What is a local restaurant? Local restaurant is mean that no fancy floor, no fancy table. It's just serve you a good food for everyone that they can eat. So it's very affordable. We bought like 4 meals, and it's for our lunch and dinner for 2 person. It's $5.40. And we cook our rice at home because I like different kind of rice, like black rice, brown rice, red rice, so I can cook my own rice at home. So it's very affordable. But in a weekend, I like to go out for some other food. Like, I went for a beef burger in the very famous restaurant. It's $10 for a burger. So you can get a very different kind of the food in Thailand. You can get a Michelin star restaurant, fine dining, very excellent if you prefer that. You can get Vietnamese food, Korean food, Japanese food, Thai food, and what you call Italian food, Mexican food, Middle East food, whatever food you can get in Thailand.
Yeah.
For Tirana, we eat in the local restaurants, okay? Local restaurants, we have a different kind also. It's about like, for a very traditional local dish is the rice in the pepper. It's about $2 something, you know, and they have a cheese 𝗙𝗏𝐺𝐻. If I'm not mistaken to pronounce this, it's a traditional Albanian food, and this is their favorites as well. It's very nice local food also with the barbecue stuff. And also they have a very nice pasta dish, which is amazing. $5, very nice presentation. I cannot believe with that price. And it is very delicious. It's not only one restaurant serving a nice pasta. They have a lot of restaurants. We've been to at least 4, 5 restaurants. Can you imagine, like all the restaurants we walk in, they have a good food. So the food choices in the Albania is, you know, you can get a Middle East foods, region food, and European food. But for Asian food, they have, but I didn't go to try that. But everything in Albania, I would love it.
And there's a little tip hidden in what you just said. You want to eat more local. If you try to eat Asian food in Europe, it's not as good as Asian food in
for
Asia.
Sure.
And vice versa. We've been to Bangkok many times, every other year. So we've been to 10 different shopping malls in Bangkok. It has every major brand in the world. And so Bangkok's a shopper's paradise. Beautiful malls. You'll love it. Just people watching there. You're going to love it. We found in Tirana, it's more like boutique style shops in these beautiful walkable neighborhoods rather than, you know, but 10 different malls. They do have beautiful malls in Tirana, but I like those walkable neighborhoods in terms a little more. It's more fun to walk around. But they have these curated integrations of different brands in these small little shops rather than the big ones for each designer. So it's kind of fun to walk around Tirana and see what they have. If you'd like my free ebook about how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 17 years and how I pay for things, come to Vagabond Buddha and grab the free ebook. Nightlife. Let's talk about Bangkok. We've all heard about the strip clubs, the ping pong shows, the drag queens and all that. We went to the lounge style nightlife with jazz, live music. Not everyone knows about that. And then Irish pubs, night markets.
Dan love nightlife so much. And we all know Bangkok is crazy for the nightlife. That's why Dan loved to come to Bangkok. I'm just kidding. He went to the street club, ping pong song, drag queen show. No, he didn't go.
Actually, I've been to all 3 of those.
I haven't been to. I want to go, but
You've been to all of them but the ping pong show, haven't you?
No,
yes, you have.
Street, yes, not really. I didn't went to street club yet. Ping pong show also no. I still want to go there, okay? But I want to show you a different part, a different side of Thailand. Thailand is not just for that. Thailand is everything. So we went for the nice jazz club. And jazz club, and also lounge style, the club, and also live music with a hard rock, you know. Wow, very amazing. Very amazing. I love the different kind of nightlife in Thailand. And also we went for night market. The night markets in Thailand have a lot. So recently we went one, it's very nice. And you know, in the Halloween, they will have people dress out like ghosts or something to take a photo with everyone. And they serve the food, like local food on the street and also a food on the store. So it's clean, catering to those, you know, tourist people. Thailand is not just for the streetcar, ping pong shop. No, okay? That is what I'm talking about, Thailand.
Now, Tirana, as I said, it's more quaint, it's more laid back, it's more for families, that kind of thing. It does have a very fun nightlife too. So we went to the sidewalk cafes, which is European style. Went to the lounge style nightlife, and we did some rooftop dancing clubs and live music, Irish pub. So you can do all of that in Tirana.
Yeah, you can go there. And also, if you don't want to go for those like dancing club or all this, you also can go to a square, the big square, the famous square in the Tirana, and you can have a beer on the square and watching people singing the live performance of the street performance people singing. It's a very different kind of nightlife over there. So nightlife is not just for those crazy nightlife.
English, people worry about, do they speak English there? Communicating in English wasn't a struggle for us in either Bangkok or Tirana. So that's kind of off the table. Pretty much everywhere we went, people knew basic English, or the employee next to them knew English or whatever. So it's not really an issue in either one of these cities.
Yes, and for the beach lover,
for the beach lovers, from Bangkok, you can get a bus to Pattaya, the Jomtien area, for about 2.5 hour bus ride. It's for about $7. And in Tirana, Albania, it's about $30 for a taxi to go to 𝗪esse, which is on the coast, about an hour away, 50 minutes. So in terms of the estimated costs of living for these two places, they're actually quite similar. On the lower end, not everyone can hit these lower ends, but people that are frugal have more experience and live more like a local than a typical expat. Your basic costs in Bangkok are going to be around $1,200 per month. And then with alcohol and entertainment, you're probably, for a couple, you're going to be more around $1,500. Now, the more typical expat living in Bangkok, for their basic costs, are paying around $1,800 a month. And then with entertainment and alcohol, they end up around $2,100 a month. Tirana, similar. The basic cost for someone who's living like a local, a couple, is around $1,200 a month. But once you throw in alcohol and entertainment for two people, you're probably more like $1,500. But that's not achievable by everyone, or by most people, actually. The middle range, you're looking at around $1,700 for your basic costs. And once you throw in the alcohol and entertainment, you're probably around $2,200 per month. Your numbers are going to depend on you. You have to go there, do an exploratory visit, find out what it's going to cost you. But those are just numbers we collected for people that want to live like a local, or people that want to live like the more middle range expats. Now, in both Bangkok and in Tirana, Albania, it's not going to be difficult to find expats. The expat scenes in both of those places are pretty well developed. Mainly, you just go to the Facebook pages when you first arrive, leave a few messages, ask where the meetups are. But you'll also we just walking around, for example, Tirana, we heard people speaking in American English. And we could strike up a conversation if we wanted to. And it's the same with Bangkok. You know, the more touristy areas will have more, and less touristy less, but it's easy to find expats. They both have developed expat scenes.
And when I think about the expat scene is that when we walk on these two cities, Bangkok and Tirana, we hear people call our name. That means that there's a lot of expat over there. There's a lot of people watching our video. Yeah. This tells everything. People call our name.
Now, walkability for Bangkok, walkability for Tirana. Now, in Bangkok, we walked everywhere in our neighborhood and got everything we needed. But if we wanted to go across town to a mall, or like when I got my teeth cleaned at the dentist, or when we go to the electronics market, we just hop on the BTS, the SkyTrain, or a subway, or whatever, and boom, you're there in a reasonable amount of time. Especially during rush hour traffic, you don't want to be getting in cars. The public transportation in Bangkok is lovely. In Tirana, it's only 400,000 people, and the central part of it is pretty much the area we love, and we were able to walk everywhere. I don't think we got in a taxi once after we arrived in the city until we left. And so it's very walkable. They do have public transportation, taxis and all that, but we just weren't using it. We end up walking usually. So
yeah, the next one is a very important thing, because it's not everyone can take the same weather patterns.
Yes.
Yeah, so in Thailand, wow, that is Southeast Asia. So it's very hot, humid, and rains some, in the raining season. Yeah. So it's not everyone can take that. Yeah,
so if you can't take the heat. By the way, the reason we can take the heat is we live a siesta lifestyle. That means that we get up in the morning earlier than we might in other cities, and we do whatever we need to do in the morning. We go home around 11 or noon, and we relax for a few hours until it's in the evening, and then we go out again and do other things, whatever we want to do. And so if you live that siesta lifestyle, Bangkok's fine. But if you like to be out in the day, maybe Tirana is better for you. Tirana has more typical Western style weather with winters, but actually a little warmer maybe than parts of the West, with winters in January 53 Fahrenheit, which is 12 Celsius in the days, but it doesn't snow there. Really, snow is only stuck on the ground twice in the last 17 years. And then the summers get up to around 88 Fahrenheit. So it's not that hot, but it cools down at night, which is fine. So for most countries, when you fly to Thailand, you have to check before you fly. You get 60 days. They stamp your passport upon entry. Used to be 30 and you'd have to extend, but now it's 60. And then if you want to stay longer, many people do visa runs, and that isn't guaranteed. Rules change all the time, but historically that's what people do if they want to stay longer. But if they want to retire there, if you're 50 plus and you have a pension or Social Security of around $2,000 a month or more, or you have 26,000 US you can put into a Thai bank, and you fill out the assorted paperwork and other documents they need, you can get a retirement visa there, and that's for Thailand. For Tirana, Albania, for all of Albania for that matter, you've hit the jackpot if you're an American. When you arrive there, they stamp your passport with 1 year, so you get to hang out in Albania for a year without worrying about your visa. And then if you want to do a visa run at the end of that year, you have to stay out of Albania for 90 days before you can come back in and get your next 1 year stamp. And so it's an ideal place for people that, if they don't want to get a residence visa, they can just leave for 90 days, maybe tour around Eastern Europe or fly to Southeast Asia, whatever they want for those 90 days, come back in and they get another year. If you want to retire in Albania and you don't want to leave for 90 days every year, or at the end of every year, maybe is better said, you can get a pension visa for around $1,500 a month if you have a pension, fill out the assorted paperwork. Or the easier way to go, more easy to get approved, is you just buy a piece of real estate for around $60,000 is about what the starting cost is for condos there, and you can get residence for a real estate purchase. So Bangkok, in terms of healthcare, it's ranked 31st in the world, which is extremely high. For about a decade, I did my annual health checkups there, and they're beautiful, clean hospitals, reasonable pricing. You're going to love the healthcare in Bangkok. Tirana, Albania, the ranking is 66th in the world. Not as high as Bangkok, but it's pretty good. The U.S. ranking system, one of the ranking systems has a U.S. at 69th, and the U.S. struggles because it's ridiculously expensive. And so Albania is actually ranked higher than U.S. under this survey, one example survey, which we'll give you in the Retire Cheap report. You can click it and read it. And so they're both pretty decent healthcare, and they're both priced right. So next we'd like to think about who would like to live in each of these two cities.
In Thailand, if you are a lover of a big city and you can go to a lot of places in Thailand, because Thailand have a cheap flight to fly to Korea, Japan, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, China, all these surrounding countries, and it's beautiful. And a person who also love the food, because I will specify that if you love the spicy food that Thailand will be a choice for you, but Thailand also have other kind of food for you to choose. Yeah. And Thailand also is famous for medical tourism.
And then Tirana I would say, since it's a more quaint, small, mid-sized city, let's call it, you'll see families with their kids playing in parks, cheap European access. I mean, ferry over to Italy, flights all over Europe. Tirana is a place where you like to spend daytimes out enjoying it, where the heat is going to turn you off in Bangkok. But in Tirana, you can be out in the middle of the day and most of the year, and you can be in the parks playing, riding your bike, sports, whatever. You're not trying to live a siesta lifestyle. So there's some real choices here in these two cities.
So if you want to know that where we stay, where we eat, and where we went for our jazz club music, we have the full report for these two cities in the link below.